The weather really isn't all that fascinating. I mean, it's quiet.
Well, that's good.
It's good for everybody else. When I'm interested, it's usually not a good thing. Lexington Financial Center live camera showing the sky getting a little brighter out there. And we are heading for another really nice day. Now, there will be a few minor issues today. You could see an isolated shower, and those have mainly been confined to Indiana and Ohio. You will definitely see a slight bump in cloud cover by later on this afternoon. I think we'll end up partly sunny. But still, really, that's about the extent of it. This slow-moving low up over the Great Lakes that's causing the problems out there. Not so much for us, but definitely up north. You heard Chris earlier this morning, if you were watching, talking about the flooding in parts of Wisconsin. Southeastern Wisconsin has been inundated, and you can even kind of get that sense of that low, that rotation there, just from the streaks of the accumulated precipitation. So there have been areas that have been swamped, the upper part of the mitten of Michigan, and then dropping back into southeastern Wisconsin there. So that low is going to track northeast and out of here, and high pressure is going to build in behind it. And as it does so, we'll see one last little gasp, some cloud cover trying to build in this afternoon, and that I think is really going to be about the extent of it. High pressure dominates middle to the end of the week. And the trend that we have is, of course, a dry one, but also it will be an increasingly warmer one heading into the upcoming weekend. You've got this upper level cold air, this cold pool of air aloft that has kept, of course, the weather unsettled, but also kept things unseasonably cool here. It's even cooler as you head up north into the Great Lakes. But that meandering Great Lakes low has kept it cool. I mean, it was definitely running that way yesterday, and today we're only going to be in the mid-70s, low to mid-70s. That's our average high, what we typically see in early October, not this time of the year. So as that low lifts out of here later on and that high builds in, we are going to start to build that heat again, especially for the upcoming weekend. It's 55 in Lexington, 48. So we did get a 48 in Williamsburg. There's one location in the upper 40s. Monticello's data has dropped off. That's almost always the chilly spot, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some upper 40s coming out of folks down around Lake Cumberland as well. And you've got some mid-50s elsewhere. And then the dew point's down in the 50s, so it's an indication of very dry air. And you can see it represented here. This is the dew point, the muggy meter, where you have the greens. That's the muggier air that has all been shunted off toward the east coast or the Gulf Coast, and there it stays the next couple of days. Now, eventually, as our high slides east and we kick the wind over to the south, we'll start to gradually ramp up the humidity a little bit. So you might start to notice a touch of it by late in the work week. And then into the weekend, as the heat builds, it may start to feel a little more summery around here as opposed to Octoberish, which is what we're doing right now. And you can see that gradual rise in the temperature back to around our normal high in the low 80s by Thursday, and then into the mid to potentially even some upper 80s into early next week. So get ready for the heat, the return back after this cool down to hotter stuff. 75 in Lawrenceburg, the forecast high today. Paris out in Bourbon County, you guys are around 73. Moorhead, 74. Southeastern Kentucky, much the same. You may see some upper 70s, generally, though, around the mid-70s. We're showing that from McKee in Jackson County over to Jackson and Breathitt County at 76 there. And if we pop you back toward the Lakes region where you've got some of those upper 40s, you guys will be in the mid, showing a 77, so some upper 70s around Williamsburg later on today. Good stuff. Just note that cloud cover that builds this afternoon, and then notice the heat. Potentially some upper 80s near 90-degree highs near the end of the 8th day.